And make sure you like, subscribe, and share the videos. How to deal with a bitter, vindictive, childish, narcissist, whatever you want to call it, ex. How to deal with your ex. Me, I actually have an ex-wife, so this is my ex-baby mother, or my ex-girlfriend is actually my ex-wife. But I've learned a lot in the process of dealing with her in the marriage, during the separation and divorce of the marriage, and now I'm dealing with her after the divorce is final and we are living our own lives. You know, I thought that this would get easier, which it has gotten easier, but in the same time, it's also gotten harder. You would think after you break up with somebody, or if somebody's finally able to escape you, if they feel like you guys were not good for each other, you would think that you guys would both be happy. But when you have kids in the mix, it's kind of hard to get back on track the way you thought that things should go. One thing about raising children, you have two different lifestyles. You have the father's lifestyle and you have the mother's lifestyle. And you guys most likely aren't going to agree on each other's lifestyles, but at the end of the day, with you guys splitting up, going through a divorce or a breakup, you guys now are both entitled to do what you want, when you want, and how you want for your kids, or as you see fit. One of the biggest challenges that I'm dealing with right now in my co-parentship, I would say, is dealing with a bitter ex, or somebody who you just can't get along with. I don't know if you want to call it bitter, upset, a narcissist, vindictive, whatever you want to use for the person you're dealing with. That's what we're here to talk about. My ex, it seems like there's nothing that I can say that she's going to be okay with. You know what I mean? Nothing. I mean, the sky's blue. No, it's not as gray. Okay, the ground is black. No, it's not as white. Like, there's nothing that we can agree on. It's like night and day when it comes to our answers and our decisions and what we think is right or wrong for the children. Even outside of the children, just dealing with each other, period. Once our divorce was final, I made up in my mind that I was going to work to be a better and bigger person, because I'm not going to blame everything on her. I've had bitterness. I used to be a narcissist, and I used to lie to her all the time, especially when we were together, because I didn't care at a certain point because the marriage was over, you know. But now that we are divorced, we have to find ways to deal with each other, and deal with each other in a cordial way, so that way it's best fit for the kids. At the end of the day, it's not about you. I think if I could not speak to her and she could not speak to me, I think we would both opt to do that. But in other terms, we actually have children that are in the middle, so we have to coexist for them, or at least until they're 18. So what I would like to say, number one, if you're dealing with somebody who you just can't get along with, they're bitter, they're always upset, they have nothing good to say, number one, do not argue with them. And that goes for the guy or the woman. You know, I feel like more so women more so like to argue and pick arguments and, you know, say things that are hurtful, just to upset you. You know what I mean? They're hurt that you hurt them and you guys aren't together. So at this point, sometimes some women want to do anything to make your life a living hell. And I see that 100%. But with that being said, you still have to deal with them because it's your child's mother. And you also have to respect them regardless of what they're doing. So one thing that I've learned to deal with the attitude and the smart comments, don't communicate about anything if it's not about business or the kids. That's number one. You know, even when we talk about the kids or business, she still got something smart to say. But she has less things to say if I keep it strictly about the kids and business, period. And when I mean business, if you guys are working together on a brand for the kids, or if your kids are in some kind of sport or some kind of entrepreneur and it forces you guys to work together, that's what I mean when I mean business. Tip number two, make sure you are in control of your emotions. I think the biggest thing and the biggest downfall of co-parenting and relationships is being in control of your emotions. A lot of times my ex says things that get under my skin and piss me off. Like I'm furious. Like I'm over here talking to the next girl, telling her about my problems about my ex-wife, which is pissing her off because I'm talking to her about my ex-wife. So one thing that I've learned to do is really master controlling my emotions. Don't let what people say move you. Because if you kind of think about it, why am I going to let somebody who I'm not with, who I'm not married to, piss me off and they're nowhere around me? I let words come through a text message or a telephone to get me riled up and frustrated and mess up my whole day. For what reason and why did I allow that to happen? I'm actually giving her too much control over my emotions and my feelings, which some of that can be from the fact of you may still care about that person. I still have love for my kid's mother, no doubt. You know what I mean? That was my longest relationship. I got kids with her, but at some point you have to find a way to detach your feelings from that person, so that way when they say certain things, it doesn't impact you and it just hits you as hard as it is doing or it's been doing. You know what I mean? And I say that for both sides. Women, let go. Men, let go. The faster you let go, the faster you can move on with your life and not have to be looking over your shoulder or checking somebody's IG or figuring out what the next person's doing. Let her do what she gonna do. I'ma do what I want to do. You know what I mean? You have to always remain in control of your emotions. Don't go look for stuff that you don't want to see. Don't ask questions that you don't want to know. So be in control of your emotions. Keep your opinions to yourself. Keep your thoughts to yourself. And control yourself. Tip number 3, on the fact of staying out of each other's business, stay off social media. If you and your ex do not get along, there's no reason for you to be looking at her stuff or she to be looking at your stuff, because you guys are checking each other's stuff out, measuring each other's lives from when you guys were with each other. So if they're doing good, it's going to piss you off. If they're doing bad, it's going to piss you off. Anything to do with them is going to piss you off. Stop going to the thing that's going to make you upset. That goes back to number 2, controlling your emotions. You can control your emotions by not going to the things you know that are going to upset you. If you know you're not over that person, stop going to their page looking for stuff to get upset about, because that's what you're doing. Because with you guys not being together and she saying she don't want you or you don't want her, you snooping, page checking, lurking is not going to help the situation. Stop focusing on the other person and focus on yourself. The more you focus on yourself, I promise you, the more your life will get better. So number 1, like I said, A, don't argue. B, be in control of your emotions. And C, make sure you stay off social media, because I promise you, social media will be your quickest downfall to make you mad and make you upset. So once again, this is the Nashville DJ Truck, DJ Benji Rich. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, Surviving Fatherhood. Just a few tips to help you get started along your day. And I wish you guys the best. Stay tuned for my next video. Nashville DJ Truck.